Good evening, Mets fans, and welcome back to a new episode of the Amazin Mets podcast, where every Thursday night we talk about everything you need to know about the New York Mets. So on today's episode, we will be reviewing all the news that's been going around the Mets organization right now, and most of the trade deadlines moves we can make upcoming trade deadline on July 31st. I think we're going to be starting with some Mets news we have. So it's going to start off with Zach Wheeler getting injured. Coming into the Twin series, he notified reporters that he has soreness in his right throwing arm, and so he is placed on the 10-day IL, which really sets him back for any trades that the Mets can make with him, as he probably have 4 starts before the trade deadline, but now he only has 2 starts coming off an injury, so it's gonna be tough for him to prove himself for teams to want him at the trade deadline. So, but what makes him so attractive is that there's not many starting pitchers available at the trade deadline. Only one off the top of my head being Madison Bumgarner and Marcus Stroman. And Marcus Stroman isn't a definite. He isn't a rental, so there's a chance he's moved. Zach Wheeler is one of the best starting pitchers out on the market right now, which makes him pretty attractive out of everyone else. But that really gives us help. But it would really help if he would do well in his last 2 starts when he comes back. I believe sometime next week, that is. So that's the first news we have. And Jacob Rame has been called up for Zach Wheeler. He's still facing a 2-game suspension. So he missed the Twin series, but is back in time for the Giant series that is starting very soon in about 30 minutes. It's glad to see him back. He definitely didn't deserve his suspension, but yeah. And breaking news coming in, 8 teams have shown interest in right-handed flamethrower Noah Syndergaard, the top 2 being Houston Astros and the Milwaukee Brewers. My take is, with Syndergaard only being 26, there's no reason to force this trade. If we can get a solid, he could still have a solid future with the Mets. And he could, next season we're supposed to be good, and I could see him being a part of our dynasty in the future. Although he struggled, I can see him bounce back coming in the second half. Hopefully, if we don't trade him. Don't get me wrong. If we get a good deal, we need to accept it. If we get a good haul of prospects or anything like that. But so there's no reason to rush this deal. But if we can get a good haul on it, we need to accept it, because who knows what Syndergaard's future is looking like with the Mets. So he could get injured soon. So we're looking Syndergaard. He's had a pretty up and down career with the Mets, although he's been rated a little higher than people must say. He's actually having one of his worst years this year, posting a 4.55 ERA. He has a career ERA of 3.22. His lowest being in 2016 with the Mets, as he was an All-Star. This year he has a 4.55 ERA in 18 starts, striking out 110, walking 30. So his walk numbers for strikeout numbers are pretty good this year. Something he has kind of, I don't want to say struggled in the past, but his walks were definitely a little up. But his hit by pitches are a little high this year. His home runs have been a little up this year, allowing 14, the most in his full season career. So his WHIP is 1.243. He's having one of his worst years of his career, but he's still attractive to the other teams, it looks like. And I doubt that they'll underrate him and undervalue him. But due to arbitration, he's being paid $6 million this year. So that's a pretty good contract to have, having Syndergaard's skills. So it's pretty good to have Syndergaard on there, having a good contract, which will make him once again more attractive. He's been pretty solid. I'm just contradicting my point now. Excuse me. But yeah, so he's been so he can definitely be traded. The Mets need to trade him like he's an ace, so we can't trade him like he's some sort of like 4 or 5 guy in the rotation. We need to like overvalue his potential and try and get teams to overpay for him, as we all know. We can't let Syndergaard. We can't just get rid of Syndergaard to get rid of Syndergaard. We need to find a good deal. Just like, but that goes with all of our expiring contracts. Obviously, we're gonna be a little more flexible since this is our last year of their contract, and they might not come back next year as we might not compete. But yeah, we still need to look for a decent deal. We can't just get absolute junk for our expiring contracts and think it's okay. Like we kind of got ripped off with this. Kind of like the Jairus Familia trade. We got Bobby Wall, who was decent, and then we got who else? We got Will Toffee, excuse me, who is still in Double-A, not showing any signs of progression. As let me just show you. Excuse me. Will Toffee is still in Double-A with the Mets and Binghamton. Yeah, he's not having too good of a year. Banked 227 on the year, an on-base percentage a little over 300, a slugging percentage a little quite above 300. But yeah, so he has 4 home runs, 22 RBIs. Yeah, nothing. We didn't get anything good for him. And Bobby Wall, let's see what he's doing in back in Milwaukee, I believe, as we trade him for Keon Broxton again, who is gone right now, and he's currently on the Baltimore Orioles. He isn't even in the majors for the Brewers. So yeah, so we kind of lost that trade as Familia had a lot more value than what we traded him for. So we need to be a little more smart who we trade our expiring contracts to and what we get back for them. I kind of like what we got for Asdrubal Cabrera. We got like a top 10 prospect. Although not all of our players were good as Asdrubal Cabrera last year, as he was our MVP going into the trade deadline, as he's batting like well over 250, had like an on-base percentage at around 360. So I could see Todd Frazier getting traded for a similar what Asdrubal Cabrera got traded for, but and Jason Vargas, we need to kind of over-exaggerate him too. Jason Vargas obviously was very disappointing last year. Probably one of the worst seasons I've ever seen from a Mets pitcher for considering what we paid him. We paid him $6 million last year just to post a 5.44 ERA. That kind of sucks. But yeah, the 2017 All-Star this year has posted a 4.25 ERA, getting a little unlucky in his last few starts. He has 17 starts, 82 innings pitched, 68 strikeouts, not overpowering anyone, but not walking too many people, only at 32. His FIP is at 4.81, so that shows he's been getting a little unlucky, you know. Yeah, so his home runs have been a lot, kind of up, but he's only been lining them up to left-handed batters, which is kind of like the opposite of what you would expect. You would expect him to get dominated by right-handed batting, but he's been doing just fine against right-handed batting. His left-handed batting, going against left-handed hitters is his problem. Yeah, so he is this what's it called? We don't know how much time he has left in him, as he's going to be turning 37 by the end of the by the beginning of next year. So, and he's 36 currently right now. So who knows how much time he has left in the major leagues? It looks like he looks like he has some time left. He started playing in 2005 when he was 22, and now he's 36. So, but took a little break as he was injured with the Mets and took 2 years off in the majors. But yeah. So, but yeah, basically, I think we could get a good package for him. Maybe a few prospects. I would say one prospect in cash considerations or a player to be named, something little like that. But I don't think teams are going to be are going to overpay on his performance that he's been doing lately. As you look at his career ERA, it's at 4.27. You're not looking to compete with a guy like that on the mound in the postseason. But yeah, and our final person's Mr. Mr. Zach Wheeler. Let's take a look at his stats. Excuse me. Oops. Zach Wheeler. He is currently 29 years old. Turned it 49 days ago. He is 6'6" on the season with a 4.69 ERA. Yeah. So he has a career ERA of 3.88. We're all hoping if he stays with the Mets. We're hoping for the same second half as he had last season, as he had the best ERA in the second half. In the NL. But yeah, he was dominant last year. Maybe that'll fool teams to give up more, as they see he always has dominant second halves when he is on. But yeah, so he's still in the 10-day DL, or IL, excuse me. Yeah, so his hits been up a lot lately, being at 9, home runs 1.2, walks 2.6, which is pretty good actually. He has 130 strikeouts to his 34 walks, which is a pretty good ratio. His 16 home runs, which really concerns me. That's the most he's ever let up in his career, and it's only halfway through the season. So something's not up, and something's not right. I mean, something's up. So we need to adjust to that. I don't know if it's the you can't blame the catching anymore. It's the pitcher. He needs to learn how to adjust the catchers. Okay, DeGrom, he needs a good catcher. We're paying him $134 million. We're paying this guy how much? We're paying him like a little over $5.5 million or $6 million. He should be able to. That's not a huge contract. He should be able to adjust to any catcher he gets and just pitch the same. I don't see why people are so picky with their catchers. It's just ridiculous. He's clearly hasn't lived up to his first round 6 pick potential when he was drafted by the San Francisco Giants in the 2009 draft. Yeah. So, he definitely has a little potential being 29 years old, but hopefully we can get a little bit of a haul. Maybe teams, fall for his second half, dominance last year and, overpay a little bit, but, yeah. So, what's it called? And someone we could also trade, Todd Frazier. We're gonna look at his stats. Todd Frazier is definitely someone who I compare to Asdrubal Cabrera. This year's batting .251, a little under Asdrubal Cabrera last year, but he's an on-base percentage about .335, but that isn't what he's known for. His power is what he's known for, putting up 12 home runs this season, 36 RBIs. Yeah, so it has an OPS of 774, which is decent. But, yeah, so if he gets traded, he'd be a good, platoon or DH, depending on who we trade him to. But yeah, he could be a starting third baseman. At the end of the season, he could always platoon for your starting third baseman. He can't really play anywhere else, can he? First base, I guess. Has he ever played first base in his career? Let me see. He has played first base for 94 games. He's played left field. He's played the outfield for 13 games. He played 2 games at shortstop. But yeah, I wouldn't trade him. I wouldn't try and get him for that reason. Yeah, so he was 25 when he's called. Now he's 33. He's a 2-time All-Star, paying him $9 million a year. So, yeah. Yeah, he could definitely be a little bit of a trade asset. Teams could definitely want him, as he is a little bit of power, veteran leadership. He always shows fire in the dugout. Great guy to be around. So who knows teams want to trade him for. Obviously I'm not expecting a huge haul, but maybe if we can get a little bit of something, that'd be great. Okay, so, and now someone who also could look to trade is Wilson Ramos. This is gonna be the last guy I'm gonna be showing your stats. This year he's batting .267 with 9 home runs, and people have not liked catching for him. He isn't a good catcher. We can all agree on that. And his offense isn't making up for his lackluster defense. So I don't see why we wouldn't trade him. Tomas Nido is doing good this year. He just needed more major league at bats in a way. Excuse me. Let me just move closer to my microphone. Yeah. Tomas Nido just needed major league at bats, and he never really got the chance with that last year. Excuse me.